friends. All right, Tuesday, April 16th. It's spring, everybody. It truly is. Well, hope you're having a fantastic day. This is Anna Sabramowitz, and I'm a scenario design expert, and I talk about that very topic here on every live, basically. Now, what is awesome is that I had a great session with my cohort this morning. And one of the things that we talked about this morning that came up, and I thought was kind of interesting because we touched on it just gently, but it spurred all this super awesome idea flow for us. So this was about imposter syndrome. Now, have you ever heard of imposter syndrome? It's basically when it's what almost every single human being in the world suffers from it, unless you're like super confident and not really human. You suffer from imposter syndrome, which is that you doubt yourself. You think you're not ready for something. You think that who am I to be sharing anything? Who am I to be giving advice? Who am I to be introducing new ideas? You don't really see yourself in that role because you feel you either don't have the talent, haven't been given permission to do something, or just you are not ready because you see other people around you who are successful, or those are the people you aspire to be, but because they're so far removed from you, or you're here, you think, who am I to actually aspire to be that person? And what's interesting is we brought up imposter syndrome in the context that when you're trying to set up a really great interactive learning episode for somebody to work through, one of the things that you really want to do is make sure that not only at the end of that journey does the person that you're designing this learning for actually resonate with that journey of that learner on there, but also that they resonate with the interior and exterior motivations of that person. They can imagine themselves in that scenario. They can imagine themselves achieving those things. And it's kind of interesting what came out is that, we said imposter syndrome, and we all said, yeah, we got it. Each of us has that, right? Like, oh, I experienced that, and yes, that's pretty challenging. But what's kind of interesting is that you can use that as a framework to discover what's going to motivate the people you're designing your learning for. What do they feel? I mean, we all feel imposter syndrome, right? So what do they feel that imposter syndrome is about? So what I say is leverage that, because your learners are also experiencing it. And that's something that's pretty universal. And this is where we draw our stories from, because there's things that resonate with us. There's things that we feel. So don't lose that. Don't pretend that they're not feeling all those things that you're by yourself. They're feeling all the same doubts, fears, anxieties, pit in the, that rock in the pit of their stomach because they're anxious or they're unsure of themselves. The imposter syndrome is perfect to use as a framework to figure out what the heck is stopping this person from just straight up following the bullet points in this procedure. And that's kind of the cool thing about incorporating story into your learning experiences. The reason I'm saying this is because if I gave you because life is not that simple. If I gave you a piece of paper, right, and I said, here's the 6 steps to being awesome. You might read that and be like, yeah, okay, I can try and follow that. Sure. But the thing is, there's this whole world underneath of emotion, of doubt, of a critical voice, of beliefs, limiting beliefs that our learners enter the learning event with. They bring in all this baggage. And to assume that somebody is 100% ready to take on your challenge and to execute is really naive, because they could have done it on their own. They don't have the right mindset or the setup to get them there. Sometimes, that's why, you have things like lynda.com. Somebody's like, I'm ready to learn. I need this info. I'm going to go check out the tutorial and basically develop mad skills in like Photoshop or whatever. That's great. That person's already realized that they have the capability to learn, and they're like, I'm the kind of person who learns software. I can do it. I'll produce, right? Now, a lot of times the people that are coming into our learning, they're not prepared. They're actually probably forced to do this learning because they don't actually even perceive a gap. So not only do they not perceive a gap, like they don't think they need it, but also they don't feel like they can actually achieve, the top level that you're trying to get them to. So you can't just give them the protocols and the processes. You have to first connect to their emotions, discover where they're at, have them connect with a character that helps them connect where they're at. And then through your journey, through the scenarios you're going to take them through, they're going to build their confidence. They're going to let go of some of those old beliefs. They're going to get a glimmer of what it's like to be a different person and what it's like to achieve something, and maybe aspire to achieve that as well, because now they see that it is possible because you've taken them on this journey where it connects to them where they're at and then takes them through to the satisfaction of potentially earning exactly what they want. So you're making that vision a reality for them, and they're experiencing the positive emotions of that achievement without even leaving their desk, which is what is so amazing, right? I mean, that's what a good movie does for you, right? You sit there. Have you ever done this? You come into a movie, you sit there, and what happens? You don't know anything about the characters on the screen. You've never met them, but somehow through the elements that are shared, you laugh, you cry. Sometimes you cry a lot. I cry a lot. I identify, if it's the right movie, it will just destroy me. Super catharsis, right? Lots of purging. Why do we go to these things? Because we want to connect. We want to experience that journey through somebody else's eyes, through somebody else's perspective, through somebody else's challenges. Those are the things that draw us in. Well, we're using the same things in our cohort to design those learning experiences, because we know that that is a powerful hook, and we know that decisions are a powerful hook. So if we can combine these two amazing things, decision making, which is the agency, which is giving somebody the autonomy to make decisions, and then also experience the powerful consequences that happen as a result of those decisions, that is such a powerful mix, and not to be ever ignored or broken. Decision, consequence, powerful consequence. And then combine that, these sequences, which we call them pearls, combine that with a really solid story. My gosh, that's going to cause some sort of an effect. That's going to cause people to have an aha moment. That's what we're going for. So, yeah. So you see 2 words, imposter syndrome, and I got all revved up, and then we started talking. Then we just started really exploring, what does that mean for everybody's learner? Because it's going to be different for your learners. You just have to understand them a little bit. You just have to do a little bit of digging. You just have to do the right kind of interviewing to figure out what's going on in that story that will make it compelling for somebody to start, finish, and have an epiphany. So if you enjoyed that, and you want to join us for the next one, we actually have a cohort coming up in May, on May 21st. And it's a small group of people who are just dedicated on creating something absolutely awesome. And it's going to be just a rock star experience. The people in this group are already it's new to them. They're doing a lot of unlearning, and it's really fun because I get to be a part of that experience as well, and we get to learn from each other. For me, that's just such a fantastic deal. So yeah, I get the best deal of all. If you have questions, or if you want to find out where you're at to see if you're a good fit for that experience in May, then I'll put a link underneath the video to book schedule a meeting with me, where basically I talk about what your goals are, deconstruct where you're at, and see if it's a good fit. So I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow when I do another live. All right? Camila, you just joined. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll talk to you later today. All right, so you guys have a fabulous day. Also remember, imposter syndrome, it's all in your head. And so if you want to overcome that, don't worry, nobody else knows it's there, but you're the one who has to work on it. And remember, you can use it as a powerful tool to engage your learners as well, because everybody suffers from it. All right? Okay, take care. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.